Coming up on 5 Minute News. UK's Johnson urges spirit of togetherness to combat virus. Pentagon used COVID relief money to make jet engine parts and body armour. And Facebook suspends environmental groups despite vow to fight misinformation. It's Wednesday, September 23. I'm Anthony Davis. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson appealed for a spirit of togetherness through the winter yesterday as he unveiled a series of new restrictions on everyday life to suppress a dramatic spike in new coronavirus cases. Warning that the restrictions could last for 6 months, Johnson voiced his hopes that things will be far better by the spring when a vaccine and mass testing of the population could be in place. Perhaps the most high-profile change centred on pubs, restaurants and other entertainment venues in England, which from Thursday will have to close at 10 p.m. Johnson also changed course and urged people to work from home where possible. He said stiff fines will be imposed on anyone breaking quarantine rules or gathering in groups of more than 6, while the use of face masks will be expanded to include passengers in taxis and staff at bars and shops. He added that the government's change of tack was necessary in light of a recent uptick in cases and warned that further restrictions may have to be taken in coming weeks if people fail to abide by the rules. The other nations of the UK, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland also tightened restrictions, in some cases going further. The new curbs came as official figures showed the UK recorded 4,926 new cases, the most since early May. Though more testing is taking place now, the number of daily cases being reported is more than 4 times the figure a month ago. Many scientists see echoes of the path of the outbreak earlier in the year, when the virus spread swiftly through the country and led to Europe's deadliest outbreak. Johnson's government has faced a barrage of criticism in recent weeks over its handling of the pandemic, notably over big problems in the testing regime. It has also been criticised over its perceived mixed messaging and sudden lurches in policy. It was only last month that it was encouraging people to go and help out pubs and restaurants via a discount hospitality scheme. And just weeks ago, Johnson was keenly encouraging workers to go back into offices to keep city centres from becoming ghost towns, and had even expressed hope that society could return to normal by Christmas. A $1 billion fund Congress gave the Pentagon in March to build up the country's supplies of medical equipment has instead been mostly funneled to defence contractors and used to make things such as jet engine parts, body armour and dress uniforms. The change illustrates how one taxpayer-backed effort to battle the coronavirus, which has killed more than 200,000 Americans, was instead diverted toward patching up long-standing perceived gaps in military supplies. The CARES Act, which Congress passed earlier this year, gave the Pentagon money to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus. But a few weeks later, the Defense Department began reshaping how it would award the money in a way that represented a major departure from Congress's intent. The payments were made even though US health officials think major funding gaps in pandemic response still remain. Robert Redfield, director of the CDC, said in Senate testimony last week that states desperately need $6 billion to distribute vaccines to Americans early next year. Many US hospitals still face a severe shortage of N95 masks. These are the type of problems that the money was originally intended to address. Facebook has suspended the accounts of several environmental organizations less than a week after launching an initiative it said would counter a tide of misinformation over climate science on the platform. Groups such as Greenpeace USA, Climate Hawks Vote, and Rainforest Action Network were among those blocked from posting or sending messages on Facebook over the weekend. Activists say hundreds of other individual accounts linked to indigenous, climate and social justice groups were also suspended for an alleged intellectual property rights violation. The suspended people and groups were all involved in a Facebook event from May last year that targeted KKR & Co., a US investment firm that is backing the Coastal GasLink pipeline, a 670-kilometre-long gas development being built in northern British Columbia, Canada. The suspensions, the day before another online action aimed at KKR & Co., has enraged activists who oppose the pipeline for its climate impact and for cutting through the land of the Wet'suwet'en, a First Nations people. In a statement, a Facebook spokesperson said, "Our systems mistakenly removed these accounts and content." The suspensions came just a few days after the social media giant said it was launching a climate science information centre to counter widely shared but misleading posts that reject the established science of the climate crisis. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Please subscribe, rate and review us at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an independent production covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering unbiased, verified and truthful world news daily.